Welcome back to another episode of Bully Ball. Coming at you ahead of this week 17 matchup versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Should be a good game. I know a lot of Niner fans have strong feelings about this one. Going to be a very, I guess you could say, emotional game, uh, being that the Raiders were in Oakland before and being from the Bay Area, I still know a lot of Oakland Raider fans, so we'll jump into it, talk a little bit about the game, who we think could get Bully of the Week possibly, and then we'll give our score prediction as well. All right, let's get into it.
Tony Montana, Tony Montana, Tony Montana, check up on my ear. Tony Montana, Tony Montana, Tony Montana, I'm about to cut.
Per usual, you got me, Alex, co-host Joseph, and then like I said, my dad's joining me as well, wrapping up his stay in Spain with me. So we'll probably see him on one more podcast after this one, and then he'll be out of here. But Joseph, how is it in Germany? And Happy New Year's.
Yep, Happy New Year's to everyone out there. We're doing good. We had a warm Christmas, kind of sucked. It was like the warmest day in a couple months, so that was trash. But going good, getting ready for this game. We got some good news from these morning games as of right now. Not complete yet, but we'll jump right into that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, let's see. It looks like the Niner fans are out there in full force. You know what I mean? Um, and also, just saw a video right now showing a grown Raiders fan trying to steal a football that Christian McCaffrey signed for a little 49ers fan, a little kid. Not surprising, but that is what it is.
What the hell?
Yeah, I haven't seen. Have you seen any inactives or anything like that for this game yet?
Yeah, I have them. I'll pull them up.
All right. But yes, like Joseph said, some good news from these early games. The Eagles right now are losing, I think by 3, right? The Giants looking like they're going to lock in their playoff position today as well.
Yeah, by 3 at the moment.
Yeah. Giants are killing the Colts, which is no surprise. And if the scores hold as of right now, the Giants and the Eagles will play in week 18. And if the Giants win that and the 49ers continue to win the Raiders and the Cardinals, we will then be the first seed, I believe. Right? Or the Vikings have to lose one as well. We're
to lose a
experiencing
game.
some, yeah.
And we went out. Yeah, you guys are cutting out terribly.
I don't know if it's our
the Vikings
internet
to lose
or
a game?
Joseph's internet, but
No, I think it's your guys. You guys are cutting out for me. Hello?
Go ahead. Can you hear us?
Yeah, you guys are cutting out choppy.
Yeah, I think Joe's internet's fucked up today, but it is what it is. Move on. You want to touch on these inactives?
Yeah, so the inactives today for the Raiders, Derek Carr, obviously, the big one. Jarrett Stidham starting at quarterback. Running back Samir White, the backup running back, is out this week. Ike Brown, Natame Muti, Sebastian Gutierrez, Matthew Butler, and Tashawn Bauer. So obviously Derek Carr is a big one that everyone knows about already. Not even at the game. So that's going to be interesting. And then 49ers inactives, we have Jimmy Garoppolo, Kevin Givens, Debo Samuel, Akeem Spence, Kamoko Toure, and Nick Zakel. So that means that Kerry Hyder and Ambry Thomas are back this week, which is good news. Get some depth on the interior D-line.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the Derek Carr situation? You know what I mean? Jarrett Stidham starting these next 2 weeks, and Derek Carr even leaving the team. Not even like he's the backup quarterback; he's completely gone. So, what are your thoughts on that situation? And what would you expect from Stidham and the Raiders' offense going into this game?
Yeah, I think it's it's honestly a shit show over there in Las Vegas. You had Josh Jacobs 2 weeks ago saying he can't deal with this shit anymore, and he's a free agent after the season, having one of his, I think it is the best year of his career by far.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you bench Derek Carr, he decides to step away from the team. And obviously, the only reason Devontae Adams joined the team is because of Derek Carr. So that's just a whole mess. There were reports that they don't want to fire the head coach because they don't have money or something. Supposedly, that's what people were saying. And it's like, hey, you guys are in trouble. You wanted that nice, shiny stadium. Your owner's dumb. Like, you guys are just making terrible mistakes over and over again. So, I expect a 40 or 50 burger tonight from the 49ers. Hopefully we see some Josh Johnson plays just because we're blowing them out. So that's what I'm expecting today.
Yeah, I agree. And Dad, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts about the Raiders offense, and how do you think our defense is going to fare against them today?
First, I'll say, for me, I think, with the fans already making their excuses, this is the team that you chose to follow. You believe in your team, and this is how they do you guys. I feel bad for the fans in a way. But, like taking Derek Carr out and all that, because at first it was all this crap talking. Oh, we're going to take you out this year, da-da-da-da, running the lips. You realize we're on our third backup quarterback for this year. You guys are on your second. We're on our third. And you didn't hear us complaining. Debo's out. You didn't hear us complain. We were still up for the challenge. All I hear a lot of excuses out there already. So I first want to say that. Just because we're Bay Area fans, so we bump heads with the fans back home. But, their fans are loyal. I give them credit. The stadium, badass stadium. They have a good team. Anything can happen, but they have a good team. They just got to get it together. I don't know if their ownership or some shit needs to happen with them, because it is a shame to see them going down like that. But I'm hoping, obviously, we get up good on them. You never know. Sometimes we play down to the level of the other teams. Hopefully tonight's not one of those. We could ride it out and then start resting some of our guys for next week. But either way, we're going to be there to play. The fans are going to be there to take over. Our fans travel, and they travel well. That's all I really have on that.
Yeah. Happy New Year's to Rick Diaz. Thanks for tuning in, watching the pod. Appreciate it. Yeah, shout out to all the faithful everywhere. Like my dad just said too, our fans travel well. So it's gonna be a big showing from them today out there in Las Vegas. Run their assignments to the offensive line and Wednesday. Yep, control the line of scrimmage, protect the ball, no penalties. Huge things for us. You have a rookie quarterback, got to protect the ball, make smart decisions. Running backs, receivers got to hold on to the ball, because the turnovers are what kill games. And, we saw it against the Falcons. Jeff Wilson had an early fumble, and that kind of just derailed the whole game. So, yeah.
And we want to get out of this game injury free.
Yeah. Across the country, across the world, we're still coming together as a family. Yep, definitely. Niner fans got some of the best fans out there, that's for sure.
We have a big play right now just happened in this Saints-Eagles game. Fourth down at midfield. I think it was 4th and 1 and 4 or 4th and inches. And the Saints hold up, get the turnover on downs. Still up 13-10 with about 8 minutes left to play. So number 1 seed at the moment, still in play.
And Good thing too, man. Vikings have a tough game tonight against the Green Bay Packers, who seems like they're kind of getting on a roll. They still have a fighting chance for the playoffs. They're in Green Bay as well, so that's going to be big. Number one seed, like Joseph said, is very much in play. It's huge right now. Joseph rocking the George Kittle jersey. Just kidding. It's probably Vernon Davis.
Well, you ruined the surprise. I wore the jersey for who I think is going to be the bully of the week this week. So got the damn
Is that the
George Kittle
Kittle?
jersey on. Yep.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Yep, I got some new swag too for Christmas.
Yep, the Run CMC. Yeah, and then we
Which-
got the new bully ball hats. As you could see, got the bully ball logo and the bully ball of 49er podcast on the back.
Fire.
Rocking all the 49er gear. What you got on, Dad?
Just got the California and the military 49er hat. Believe it belongs to your mom, but we won't say nothing.
If you're in here watching this live, let us know what 49er apparel you're wearing today for the game.
Yeah, and if you guys got any new stuff for Christmas, because I know my parents, 49er gear isn't the most easily accessible out here in Spain, so my parents brought me down a few goodies, for the new year, and hopefully this playoff push as well. Since we kind of talked about it, you touched on it a little bit. You want to go ahead and give us your prediction for Bully of the Week?
Yeah, so obviously wearing the Kittle jersey. Kittle is my projection for Bully of the Week. The dude's been going off the past 2 weeks. Was it 2 or 3 weeks now that he's been going off?
I think
Two, because he had 2 touchdowns against Seattle, 2 touchdowns last week.
Yeah, dude's been feasting. And someone had mentioned it on Twitter, and I didn't think of it until I saw it. But in college, Brock Purdy was feeding his tight end. He loved throwing to his tight ends in college, and you could see it again in the NFL with George Kittle now. So it makes sense. And he's been super close to being our bully of the week multiple times. We've just, we have a couple of people on the defense that just go crazy every week. So I think finally this week, George Kittle breaks through and wins our bully of the week.
Yep. That's a great candidate as always. I'll go. Do you want to give yours first? Or you want me to give mine?
You could go ahead.
All right. So I'll go ahead and give mine. Since Joseph piggyback off his apparel, I'll go ahead and piggyback off mine. I'm going to say our boy right here, Christian McCaffrey, going to get bully of the week. He kind of had a quiet week last week. He did have a touchdown, but more of a quiet week from him from what we've seen in the past. I think he's going to get it back on track. Not that he was off track, but I think he'll get it going again. On the running the ball, obviously, I think he's going to dominate the run game. And I think he's going to dominate the receiving game as well, from what we've seen. So my prediction is going to be CMC. I'll even give a little stat what I think. So, I guess Bosa's correctly last week. I'll say CMC has a rushing and receiving touchdown this week.
Okay.
It. And this is mine. We're going for records. Records are made to be broken. We're going for the records.
Yep.
Big game.
That's a good one. Nick Bosa, he's 2 sacks away from the 49ers team record at 19.5, who it was previously held by Aldon Smith. So it's very reasonable that he'll get that at least within the season, if not this game by itself. And then he's 5? He's 5 sacks away from the all-time record with TJ Watt and who else
was it? Michael Strahan?
Yeah, Michael Strahan, I think, at 22.5. So Bosa's 5 away from the all-time and 2 away from the 49ers sack record.
And he's going to have to get them early because the coach, if it comes later in the game and we're up, they're going to start pulling them out. So we got to make it happen quick.
Yeah, definitely. This is also a big week too for fantasy football. I know Joseph's probably hurting a little bit inside with Jerick McKinnon having 5 receptions, 50 yards, and 2 touchdowns, which is that's the stat line you expected from Jerick McKinnon when he was on the San Francisco 49ers, but he did not put up anything close to that, whenever. So I know that Joseph's hurting a little bit from that on both sides.
Definitely. I have Jerick McKinnon on the bench with 20 points, and I have DJ Moore on the bench with 20 points. And none of my players that are in have 20 points. So
Yeah, it's tough. Oh man. New Orleans Saints too. They just had 3rd and 17 from midfield. It looks like they didn't even move the ball. Probably lost yards from when we last said something, and it's now 4th and 17. So they're gonna have to punt, which is unfortunate. Let's see. Our friend Rick Diaz says he's wearing a shirt that came from California, Levi's Stadium store. We got a helmet. It says 49ers. I got that for Christmas. Nice. Love getting new Niner gear. Our
people
mom
on
tuning in the living room saying her bully is Hufanga, which could be a big one. He's been kind of quiet these last couple weeks. So
Ask Rick his bully.
Rick, who do you think is going to get bully of the week? It's something that we do every week, and it's somebody who's not necessarily the MVP of the game, but somebody who changes the game with their physicality, their physical style of play, and they kind of just, kind of the MVP, but also just a really physical player.
seeing on Twitter that there's a lot of red outside of Allegiant Stadium. So we'll see if the 49ers have another takeover at Allegiant Stadium, home of the Las Vegas Raiders today.
Yep. Yep, should be a good showing. That's a good game to go to. You get to spend New Year's in Las Vegas, which would be super cool. Then you also get to see the Niners play out there, which is another cool thing.
Yeah, it's pretty funny if you think about it. If you bought tickets before the season, you're expecting to see, Trey Lance and Derek Carr, both teams probably competing for the 1 seed in their respective divisions. Conferences, maybe competing for playoff spots on either side, whatever. And now you're seeing Brock Purdy and the 49ers clinch the NFC West versus Jarrett Stidham. So, the NFL changes every given week. You feel bad for the people before the season that probably paid like $600, $700 for those tickets.
Hey, but the fans are still paying. I bet you people still were buying last week and still going. And you figure if you're traveling, hotel, plane tickets, and they didn't make the tickets cheaper because car was out, or it's still expensive. So it's pretty good.
Let's
Pick six.
go.
Pick six. New Orleans Saints pick off Gardner Minshew, get a pick six. Marshawn Lattimore, it is now 19-10, about to be 20-10, with 5 minutes and 30 seconds remaining.
Let's go. Niners need that. Could be big because the Giants looking like they're getting hot right now. They just killed the Colts. I know the Colts aren't the best team, but still putting up over 30 points in a game is huge. So hopefully they can ride some of that momentum into next week against the Eagles, which seems like Jalen Hurts is going to be back, I would assume. But if the Eagles can take this L and then maybe get upset by the Giants next week. Vikings hopefully lose against the Packers tonight. Niners win out. That 1 seed, still a very possible option that can happen. Get that first week bye in the playoffs, then go into the the divisional round, right?
Divisional round.
Like that. Yeah. So could be big.
Looks like Tom Brady and Mike Evans are starting to heat up. 2 long touchdown passes this game, which they haven't been hitting lately. So, don't count out the Bucks in the 4 seed.
Yep. But that game's still not over as well. There's still 6 minutes, 50 seconds. They just got the 2-point conversion to go up by 3. But the Panthers have also been playing pretty good. They're only down by 3. So still that game's wide open still.
Rick Diaz said, I got so many of them. I like Nick Bosa, McCaffrey, George Kittle. Choose. Are you? There's so many of them, but I just leave it like it is. He could be either one. Yeah, it's honestly very hard to predict who's going to be bully of the week for us because there's so many people that could win it. Pretty much anybody on the defense and a couple people on the offense could win it any week. It's crazy.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely going to be interesting. Dad and I were kind of talking earlier, and we were watching the Patriots-Dolphins game. I said, I was like, thank God we didn't draft Mac Jones because we pretty much got a more mobile Mac Jones. If, probably, I would say they're pretty much almost the same passing, if not, Brock might have a little bit more. We need to see more games from him, but he's at least more mobile. And we pretty much got that in the 7th round instead of getting him 3rd overall or in the 1st round in general. So that was a big get.
And did you see this week? I think it was John Lynch that they had on for an interview, and he said the people behind getting Brock Purdy in the draft. You know who it was?
Adam Peters.
No, it was Brian Greasy and Clay Kubiak, your quarterback coach, and I believe Clay Kubiak's an offensive assistant. Those
Probably
were the two that
game
were
coordinator or something.
Yeah, those were the two that were headlining, wanting Brock Purdy to be drafted by the team. So another thing, we all thought Brian Greasy was a kind of a head scratcher signing, never been a coach before. He obviously was an NFL QB, but he's been an analyst. And the 49ers pull these analysts out of the damn booth and they become great personnel people. John Lynch obviously was a player to analyst to GM. And then now Brian Greasy, same path, but to quarterback coach, and both excelling at the highest level.
Yeah. I was telling Dad too earlier, it was like we should promote John Lynch to president of football operations and then promote Adam Peters to GM because Adam Peters, it's almost been every year with him that we thought he was going to go to be a GM on a different team. And I think I know we've been saying this for like the past 2-3 years, but I think this year will probably definitely be the year that he's gone if we don't promote within. I would like to see. I believe it was the Broncos that did that with Elway. Maybe they promoted him to president of football ops, and then somebody else took over the GM spot. I think that'd be a smart move for us to keep good talent from a scouting perspective because Adam Peters seems like he's a pretty good scouter, and we need to keep all the talent we can up there. So
yeah, and it's crazy to see the factory of like personnel that the 49ers have become. You got coaches leaving every single year to become head coaches, take better positions. You got personnel people leaving to become GMs. Who was it? Martin Mayhew last year to go be the Commanders GM. You got Adam Peters in there. We have our D-line coach, Chris Kosaric, who could probably be a defensive coordinator for years now because he's just amazing at his job. But, it's just insane, the culture around this team. We all hate on Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch a little bit when things go bad, but they've really done a great job up until this point on leading the organization in a good direction.
Yeah, it's extremely interesting too because they've hit on so many late round undrafted guys, but then they don't really hit on the early round dudes. Every now and again they do, but that's something I don't know why, but it's interesting.
Yeah, and it's crazy because when you look around the league, even just these morning games, you turn them on, and all these other teams, you see Jamichael Hasty score a touchdown, you see Matt Breida getting carries, you see Kendrick Bourne catching passes, just Richie James making huge plays. It's pretty insane the amount of talent that joins the 49ers to enter the league and then spreads out throughout the NFL throughout the years.
Yep, it looks like the Eagles Saints game's over. They just went for it on fourth down at midfield, didn't get it. I think the Saints take over, so that game's more than likely over. Number 1 seed still in play for the 49ers.
The one thing we need Shanahan to be on our team, not looking past this game since Carr's out and they have a couple injuries, and next week with Arizona. Like we got to be focused and take one game at a time and really ball out on these games to get this through. We can't blow it on something dumb.
Yeah,
I agree.
They need to go in, take control of this game quick. Try to take a huge lead going into half and pull the starters, get them out the game.
Yeah, because we're going to need the health. And, the Cardinals are hurting too. Looking for next week, Kyler Murray's out. Colt McCoy, he was out this week, still dealing with some concussion, so who knows if he'll play next week. So it's interesting. It is very interesting. We'll see how it turns out within these next couple of weeks going into the playoffs.
Yep, and now let's move on to your guys' score prediction for the game today. Dad, go ahead and lead us off. What do you think the score is going to be of the game today?
I'm going to say 30-17.
17 points.
Sometimes we give up. We have broken play. I'll be a little. They still got a good team. I don't know nothing about their quarterback coming into this, but you figure you got one or two broken plays, couple field goals. It would be close. Hopefully, it's down like 14. Like I said, my thing is the thing that I always think about is I don't want to play down to the level. We have to stay up playing high caliber football, because if you're really looking at this, and this is for everybody out there, the Niners are up here, the Raiders are here. We're different levels. Get that right, my people. Different levels. We're not all the same.
Yeah, that's 17 points. I think that's a little generous. I'm going to say 27-10 49ers win.
27-10.
I think they probably get that touchdown maybe at the end, and we pull our guys, or they'll get it early, one of the two, and then 27. I think we'll jump out to a big lead in the first half, then kind of coast at the end. So 27-10 49ers.
I think this game is going to be kind of like how it was for Nick Mullins, that coming out party, like, hey, this dude might be legit. And obviously we've seen Brock Purdy look legit already, but I'm saying like the real statement game, like 3-4 touchdowns, ton of yards type thing this week. I think the 49ers drop a 40 burger on these bums. I'm going to say 40-10. I think maybe you get you probably get one. They might get a defensive touchdown with, Jarrett Stidham at quarterback. I don't know. 40 burger, 40-10. I ain't playing with these bums. This game going to be a blowout in Vegas.
Yeah, that's a bold one. Definitely a possibility, though. Definitely a possibility.
I think some of the fans are going to be fighting harder in the stadium than the players on the field.
Yeah, I have a video right here. Throw up. Can you see it?
Yeah.
This is what the stadium looking like at the moment. Oh, hold on. See the red filing into the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Ton of 49er fans in there early.
I like it. The red's gonna pop out there.
Yep. And our mom has her score prediction at 28-9. Yep. Very realistic, too. Hold on to the 3 field goals and we get 4 touchdowns. Very realistic possibility. You have any
Should be.
Do you have any
Go ahead.
closing thoughts?
Yeah, one thing that I had mentioned on our Twitter, if you guys are here, subscribe to us here on YouTube and follow us on Twitter at SF Bullyball. We appreciate it. But on Twitter earlier this week, I mentioned if Jordan Mason was completely healthy, I expect to see a heavy, heavy dose of him this week. Like you said, might want to get the starters out a little early if we take a big lead. And what better way to run out the clock than having the most physical player on the team running the ball? So I think we might, if he's completely healthy, see a big workload for him today. And I would like to see that as well.
Yep, I agree. Let the closer do his work. He needs more opportunities. Who knows? It could be Ty Davis Price as well, since he got a lot of the work last week. But yeah, as usual, let's hope for a great game from the Niners. Hope for health coming out of this game as well, and just some great football. Football season's coming down to a close. So appreciate these last few games, and let's go Niners. Dad,
Yep.
got anything?
Hey, like I said last week, let's play some bully ball. If we could play bully ball day in and day out, 4 quarters, anybody that we play is going to have a battle on their hands. And that's what I ask. If anybody beats us, let them beat us because they were better and not us beating ourselves. Play some bully ball.
Yep.
And we appreciate all of you that watched our last video, over 400 views. I think we're up to 154, 155 subscribers now. We'd like to reach 200 subscribers before the end of the 49ers Super Bowl run that we're hoping that we go on this year. So, if you're here, please subscribe, like the video. We post great content. We'll have a podcast out tomorrow for you guys recapping the game. And we'll have our Bully of the Week out as well tomorrow. So, we hope we have a great game today, and we hope you guys had a great new year.
Yep. Holiday season too. Have a great Christmas and everything. And we'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Peace out.